America, I said to you a few years ago that when the NFL allowed players to kneel during the national anthem, that was so incredibly disrespectful to our flag, to our nation, to the military that died for them to have the freedom to make money playing football, which is absurd. The most overpaid skill and the most overpaid position of employment I think a human can have, other than maybe acting, is a professional athlete. Now, I didn't say they're not good at it. They are. They're the best of the best. They're the 1% of 1%. Very few people. So it does have a value if you're strictly looking at a economic system of supply and demand. It's so rare if you can make it that you get paid, but it's only because people go to watch. But if professional athletics stopped tomorrow, the world would keep going and we'd be okay. We'd be okay. We'd find other things, maybe more productive things to do with our time. I played sports. I loved it. I'm not anti-sports. I simply said when it comes to the existential value of professional sports in a culture, it's simply not that important. And oftentimes can be used as an excuse to not accomplish things because you get so caught up in just paying attention to that, you're not often creating your own world. That's on you. That's your choice as an agent that God has given you, a free agent. You can choose what to do with your body. If you're a determinist, then of course you made no choices. Everything you got or didn't get is pure luck. I just listened to a conversation between a couple of guys, atheists, who believe that's true. So I didn't watch the NFL because it was so disrespectful. And I said to you guys on this program a couple of years ago, I will never, ever watch the NFL again unless I am a Christian. So I believe in something that they don't believe in critical race theory and in wokeism. I believe in forgiveness if someone repents. If someone says, I made a mistake, please forgive me. Absolutely. I will forgive you, and you change your ways and move on. I'm the first to give you credit because I need that too. The NFL ever said, we made a mistake supporting Black Lives Matter because it's a Marxist organization. Now it is. The two founders were Marxists, and Marxism is the antithesis of the United States. It hates the United States. It wants it to be destroyed. But an audience was given to them, and the NFL, the largest sporting enterprise in the United States, paid them, I don't know, $1 billion, something to that effect, I don't know, certainly in the hundreds of millions, and allowed the flag to be disrespected, all the while expecting people like us, blue collars, to pay their exorbitant prices to go see it and to take money from ads who want to advertise on these shows we watch online and on television. All the while they're disrespecting the nation that gave them this freedom and this opportunity that they don't deserve. So I said, if they want to say our bad and we made a mistake, we're never going to take a political position again, and we will allow our athletes, because we believe in the First Amendment, to think and say and believe what they want, but they'll do it off on their own time. I believe in that 100%. Do what you want to with your off time. When you're on a team representing a sport that represents all of those watching from every ilk, every Democratic, Republican, atheist, theist, conservative, leftism, come together and watch something together that they can appreciate, and everything else is sort of fades into the distance, and you actually have unity. It has value there. And so if you want to say, I'm going to give $1 billion as the NFL to military veterans organizations to help them in their hospitals, help those of fallen soldiers' families. We're going to give $1 billion. We apologize for allowing the disrespect. It won't happen again. We apologize for supporting a political Marxist, hate-filled, anti-American organization. We won't do it again. We're not going to choose any sides anymore. We're just going to play football. Then I would say, okay, that's fine. I'm back in. Let's play. But they're not going to, because they know that people will watch them no matter what type of a dump they take on my flag. I know that because many of you watching right now watched. I didn't because I won't watch it. I told you, if you're not going to actually sacrifice and do something different, then those who despise this nation will bleed you dry, take every dime you will give them until they take over and imprison you for wrong thought. Freeze your bank accounts, do whatever they need to do because you didn't vote the right way, or bow the proper distance necessary for what they demand. So you're part of the problem. I told you when I started Brad Stine Has Issues that I wanted two things. One, that God Almighty would be honored because I worship him and him alone, not the United States. The United States, if you haven't noticed, is dying as we speak. And if people like us don't stand up and say we will not support and will bankrupt into oblivion any business that hates this nation and tries to destroy it, if we don't do that, we will lose the nation. It's for real. It's for sure. It's here. I'm doing my part. I don't know if you're doing yours. That's up to you. But if we become enslaved soon, you can blame yourself if you never disciplined yourself to say, I will do without for a higher cause. During that time, I heard that they had a national anthem. The national anthem means an anthem or a song for a nation, a national nation song. And that's what we sing. The Star-Spangled Banner is our national anthem. It represents every American citizen in the United States. It represents all colors, creeds, genders, ages, sizes, and lengths and widths, right? All of us. I heard that they also sang the Black National Anthem. Once again, NFL has decided to take a political cause, irrespective of the fact that there's others that don't necessarily think that's an appropriate place to do that. But they did it anyways, because they are still on board with those who despise the nation. But if you watched, you support them. Your money supports them, and they will continue to thrive until America doesn't exist. So I simply have one question. I know what a national anthem means, because it's an anthem for the nation. All nations have one. So I simply have a question. It's not an indictment. It's not an insult. It's a question. If it's called the Black National Anthem, I simply want to know, what nation is this anthem representing? That's all. I just want to know so I can follow along. I know what the United States national anthem represents, the United States. The national anthem for Greece represents Greece. The national anthem for Africa, for Sudan, I don't know, for China represents their nation. If it's the Black National Anthem, what nation are they singing about? And if they said instead, this is a black anthem, oh, well, then I understand. So what you're saying is this is an anthem that people that have a darker skin color are singing about themselves. The rest of you are left out. It's just for us. But at least I'd understand that. But they don't say that. They say it's a national anthem, which means that represents a nation. Who is this nation you represent? It's not America, because most people in America aren't black. So it can't be a national anthem for America. It's not representing Asian people, certainly not white people, and I guess not brown. If we're going to make assessments based on color alone, skin color, which should have nothing to do with anything, and if you ever bring up skin color, you're a racist, but nevertheless, it's how the world works now. It's certainly how they control things. But if it's called the Black National Anthem, what nation does it represent? All I want to know. Now, I doubt there's an answer to that because I really don't know what it would be, but maybe somebody has one. Maybe somebody has something, that we are a nation within a nation of people of a certain skin color that think the same way, act the same way, vote the same way, and are really more beholden to our skin color than to the nation that's given us freedom. That's a call you can make. You're allowed that call. But I just wonder how it's helpful, how it's healing, how it's growing the nation in a way that can be of any value to us, to keep us cohesive. It's a fracturing and a destroying of us. And if it continues and we continue to have isolated songs and anthems, we simply can't survive as a nation because we're no longer have any solidarity, any communal ideas and traditional foundations we can all rely on. That's simply the way it is if this Marxist crap continues and isn't rooted out and ended. But even more importantly, as I end my little soliloquy, is this. There will be people around the world, and certainly in this nation, that will listen to what I'm saying as we speak, and they will call me a racist. Notice what I didn't do at all. I didn't go and pick out an individual and slam them or malign them or discredit them or insult them. I didn't. I simply asked if something is called a thing, I want to know what it means so I can understand it. All I did. But what they will hear is because you didn't simply accept it on its own terms without it needing to be defined, without it needing to have any justification, but simply bow the knee and grovel at our demand that this fits in with everything else. Whether the majority of people want it or not, it doesn't matter. The rule of the minority is Marxism at play. The marginalized now rule because we're victims. If you rule, you're not a victim. You're the privileged.